Okay, so this is our More About It Monday, and this Monday I've chosen to talk about the Butterfly Brilliance stamps. You can see all the little pieces I'm saving in case I want to do like a giraffe or jungle theme. So these stamps come all in one piece, and some people have been cutting them up. Some people have bought two sets, cut one set up and kept one set whole. So what I want to do is show you some alternatives to cutting your stamps if you're kind of reluctant to do that. They are pretty easy though. If you had some sharp scissors, just cut. But you may just want to preserve these. So the first thing I want to talk about is if you want to, let's say this is the inside of my card. I want to put my sentiment there, and I want to put a little butterfly down here at the bottom. Well, I've got all these butterflies. How will I do that? So let me pick out my butterfly. I want to put this butterfly at the bottom. Okay, so how I'm going to do that is I have a 7 by 7 inches piece of window sheet, just like the 4 by 6 piece that we use. And you could use your 4 by 6 if you don't have more window sheet to cut a 7 by 7, but 7 by 7 fits perfectly in there, and it just gives you more wiggle room. So here's the butterfly that I want, and I want to put it in the corner of here. So I know that I want to be able to slide it underneath, and so that's the corner. So I'm just going to kind of put it there. So I'm going to want to slide it under there and make sure I have plenty of room. Okay, so you know what, I got to take this off first or it won't work. All right, so here's my butterfly. That actually helps, doesn't it? I can actually see my butterfly better. So I want that in this corner here. So I know that that's where I want it in my paper. So now I'm going to pick it up, and I have my plastic here. Now I'm going to get my dauber. This is a sponge dauber. It's in the catalog. You can look in the index in the back. So let's see. This was the butterfly I wanted, I think. So I'm just going to take my dauber and I'm going to daub it. Now if you, I hope I'm in camera. If you're concerned that you might get some ink on these other butterflies, because you do not want to do that, or they will stamp as well, you could take a piece of tape and put over them, or a sticky note. I feel pretty confident not doing this, but just for, just in case this is what you guys want to do. And you know what? I've found that using the dauber, I actually get a better image of the butterfly when I do the dauber. So, and of course, if your stamp is new, you might need to rub a little bit and then dab. Okay, so there's my butterfly. I'm going to set this aside and try not to get ink on anything. So I got my plastic down. I'm going to keep my plastic from moving. It's all the way in that corner. So now I'm going to stamp here, and I hope that I left enough room. All right, now just like we always do, I'm going to take this, and I just got ink there. I'm going to slide this underneath like so, and put that there. And this time when I daub my, whoops, this time when I daub my butterfly, I want to be sure to take off my tape. I have actually a lot of ink on this butterfly, probably way more than I need. Okay, now I'm going to remove my tape, or if you use sticky notes. Sticky notes are good because they're easier to reuse, I think. I'm going to wipe off my hands because I do have ink on my fingers. So it's always good to keep a baby wipe, or these are the Honest wipes. I'm loving those. I got them at Kroger, but you can get them, I think, at Target as well. Okay, so now if all goes well, as intended, my plastic's over there. Okay, so I'm just going to push down on the butterfly that I wanted in the corner. And these little daubers are sold 5 to a pack. All right, so there's my butterfly. Now, if I didn't get a good enough image, I could always daub it some more and put it down there. Okay, so that's how you can do it if you want to place it on a specific place on your cardstock like that, except for the ink that I got there because it was on my finger. Okay, hopefully that helps. So let's do a little cleanup here. I'll clean up my plastic first, my window sheet, and I'll clean up my butterfly. Okay, the other two things you might want to do with your stamps is you might want to do, dry it off there. You might want to you might just plan on wanting to have this, like stamp it and die cut it, but so what do I need to do to tell you to do this? I've lost my train of thought here. Okay, well, I do know that this is thick basic white, so I'm going to run this through my Big Shot, well, not my Big Shot, my Stampin' Up trimmer, or let me bring it in so you know what I'm talking about, since I don't seem to know what the name of it is. All right, so I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine on thick Whisper White paper, and I'm going, and this is 5.5 by 7, a piece of 5.5 by 7 paper. Let me look at comments. Okay, you use the dauber all the time for this? That's a good idea, Pat. I didn't use the dauber until I wanted to do this video for you guys, and then I realized what a good image it makes when you use the dauber. It gets all that fine detail. Okay, so there's that. Okay, I think I got my thoughts together now. Okay, I'm gonna get my daubers inky. All right. So if you and you could, I wouldn't suggest doing the plastic with this, but I guess you could if you wanted to. Boy, that's sticky. Since I put my stickers on, that is one sticky. All right, so I have a clean piece of grid paper here, and let's see, I want to do this, let's see, I want to do this little guy up here. All right, I'll make that some more difficult one. In fact, I probably should have turned it, since I want to do that one, I probably should turn it this way. It'll be easier, I think. Again, I'm only doing the one that I want. Okay, so I'm stamping it on that grid paper, or you could use just regular paper if you didn't want to use your grid paper. Now my stencil that I just did, I'm going to bring that here, and I can line it up as though I were die cutting it. Now I have found, and I'm missing one of my, I am missing one of my magnets. All right, magnets don't just go anywhere, do they? Do they? Sometimes it's like stuck to the bottom, but not this time. All right, so let me line that up again. I can do one of two things. I can line that up where I want it to stamp, put one magnet down. I can take the paper, any size paper, just big enough. I can put it underneath there and ink up my one little butterfly and stamp inside there. Whoops, you got to be careful not to put your this where your stamp is gonna go over it. Okay, this is and then you can die cut it, but that would be a lot of work. So trick is you die cut first. So I have and you can die cut as many as you want. Is this the right one? Is this the same one? No? Yeah, that is. Okay, so the trick is you do this like you did. You line it up how you want it. I make sure that's in the corner, and make sure this is going to stamp where I want it. And make sure my rubber isn't going to interfere with my magnet. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of adhesive on the back. I hope I was in camera for that. And I'm going to slide this in right here. Then I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it. So basically what I did is I die cut first and then stamp. Normally you stamp and then die cut. But if you're going to do multiples, you can do this with any stamp. Okay, so now I'm going to get my pointy tool and lift that up out of there. And if I were doing multiples, I would leave that in place. You might have to twist it off. I'd leave that in place, and then I'd come over here, find another one, just like that one. It's a little bit off. Get it back in place. Get another one already die cut, ink that up like so with my little dauber. And again, I forgot to put my magnet outside of the rubber. Okay, so let me bring that up so you can see. Where's my pointy tool? My take your pick tool. All right, so it's a little bit off, but that's because, you know, when you're doing videos, it's always going to be off a little bit. I can make it more perfect though if I really want to. Let's see if I can get it a little more perfect. I'm going to put my magnet down here this time. I think I should have one more of those little ones left. That's one of the big ones. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. No, I don't have one of the little ones left. Oh wait, maybe I do. Here we go. So as long as you line it up before you stamp it, your image should be. So you see how I've done 3 now? If you were doing multiples, that would definitely be the way to go. You could just keep cranking these out. So this one looks a lot better. It looks more centered because I took my time to do it right. So those are the 2 things that will help you so that if you really just don't want to cut your stamps, this will save you all that trouble of having to do that. Yeah, Pat, I'm going to look on the bottom. I thought I did look on the bottom, but that's usually where it's at. I had my other Stamparatus out earlier, and I think it might have migrated over to it. Oh wait, here it is, over here in the corner. It wasn't, it was over here hidden. Okay, so, and these are so sticky. You can stick these to the inside of your inside like this if you want, or you can do like I do. I save this waxy part here. Just be sure you don't use the reverse side, and since it only matches on one side, it's kind of hard to put it on the wrong side but if you're not paying attention, you could do that. So that's the Butterfly Brilliance. And that kind of gives you an idea how you can use the 7x7 plastic sheet to place your butterflies in a special place. And you could even keep this in with your stamps. I don't know if it will fit. Let me see. It's a little bit big. Maybe if you made it a little bit smaller, but you can keep it in a drawer or file or someplace, or with your stamps on your shelf. So you have to recut one of these every time you want to do that. Okay, that is my More About It Monday. I hope that's been helpful. I hope that you learned something.